Hi everyone, welcome to ThomTech Tutorials. I am Thomas and this is session 27 of Azure Data Factory tutorial 2. So in this session we are going to cover what is append variable activity and what are the usage and functionalities of the same. So guys, before we start, please do subscribe and support my channel. Okay. With that, let's begin the tutorial. So append variable activity. So in the past videos we have already covered what is set variable. So similar to that, now we have append variable activity. So the purpose of this is to like concatenate different values into a common list. Okay, and the variable type that we are going to use for this would be array, because if we get an array variable, then only we will be able to store the elements or items into that array variables values. Okay, so that's it. Let's go back to our Azure Data Factory and see this in practical. Okay, let me quickly change it to Azure Factory. Okay, so this is our Azure Data Factory. Okay, and now let's go ahead and create a new pipeline. Click on new pipeline and let's expand this and adjust the space like based on like what you need. You can just collapse this also to get more space. Okay, collapse this also to get more space, like that you can do. And now before that, let's understand what is our use case, or like let's take a scenario. Okay, what exactly we need to achieve. Okay, so we have files, file 1, okay, so let's suppose we have 3 files and we are moving it from source to landing. Okay, we are moving the files from source to landing. Great, paste it and paste it. Okay, so once we move the files from source to landing for all these 3 files, okay, what we have to do, we need to get the name of all these 3 file names, concatenate it in a way that we can use it somehow to show it in some email messages. Okay, so that's the purpose. Okay, so ideally it should come like this, something like this, comma txt comma space file 2.txt space file 3.txt. okay, so once we get like this, we can build some logic to write detailed information about the list of files that we have processed. Okay, so that's our intention. Okay, and sending out of email we will be covering later once we start on with like logic apps. Okay, so now let's switch back to our Azure Data Factory. Okay, let's pull out a metadata activity, bring it here, and before that let's parallelly go and open our storage account as well. Okay, so I'm just opening the Azure portal one more time. Let's open it. Click on our storage account, click over here. You will get the list of storage account under this subscription of your account. Click on this and from here click on containers. In the container you will find the container name ThomTech Tutorials, and then the folder names will be lined up over here. Okay, so if you guys have not seen like how to create a container and underneath how to create folder structure for our project planning, so you can watch my previous sessions. Okay, the playlist link is available in the description below. So with that, let's focus on the source folder. So this is our source folder. So as of now we do not have anything. Let's do one thing. Let's upload some files. Click on this, click on the browse and get 2 files, the txt files. Okay, click on this. So we got 2 files over here. Okay, now we can, yeah, so if you want to see the name of the file, I think we can expand this and we can see the name of file, that is template 2 and template 3. So these are the 2 files that we have to use. Okay, and we need to move these files from source to landing. This is a landing folder and we have some files already present. So what we can do, let's select all these and then let's delete this. Click on this and delete all the files. Go back to ThomTech. Now you can see this is our source folder which has like 2 files and we have to move it to the landing folder, and once we have moved it we need to delete the files from the source folder, and ultimately we need to write, let's ignore the part of deletion for now, because deletion we have already covered in the previous session. Okay, so you can watch that out. And let's now go back. Let's get the metadata activity and read files. Okay, click on this, click on dataset, click on dataset and get your dataset that you have created, that is ds file edls, and your folder name is going to be file name is going to be what? I'm going to use a wildcard, that is star.xlx.txt, I believe, right? txt. Go down, go to the property in the field list. Inside this I will go and select the child items. Select the child items, scroll it down, save it. Okay, now go and pull the for each activity. Let's get this for each activity, join it together. So guys, all these activities we have already covered in the prior steps. Okay, so prior session, so you can go and watch it if you have not seen. That's why I'm just making it quick over here. Click on this, click on settings, click it sequentially. We can click sequentially or we can leave it for parallel as well. Okay, click on add dynamic content, click on the property coming from the child metadata and give the property as child items. Okay, let's run this. Okay, not run, let's click on OK, and then let's click on this pencil icon to get inside this. Okay, now I am inside this. Now what I will do is I will click outside this pipeline, go to the variable, click on this plain canvas outside, click on variables, add a variable, that is list of files. Okay, so list of files, the type of this should be, so in total for variables we have three types. One is string, boolean and array. So definitely this is the variable that we are going to use to collect our multiple file names, right? So that's why I'm just marking it as array. Okay, make it as an array, create one more variable as file names. So this variable I am defining as string because once this array is ready, I will extract all the file names and I will put that in a variable so that I can use this variable to display it as a text in my email body. Okay, so let's now click on this, click over here and bring your append variable activity. This is the append variable, the session that we are covering for this particular activity. Okay, then get list of files. Okay, click on variable, the variable you have to pass the list of files variable. So you can see guys, since append variable, when you click on the name, it is going to give the values or the variables which are of type array. Okay, so we have defined two variables but only one is shown up here. Okay, that's because the type of that variable is array. Okay, let's click on this. And how to pass the value, this is the important thing, what value you have to pass. Okay, let's click on this and let's see what we can pass. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, so this is going to be your item dot name. So this property we have already covered, so this will help us to get that particular file name within that iteration. Click on OK. Okay, and then what we can do, in every iteration it will go and it will concatenate that string. Okay, and then let's click on pipeline, come outside. Once you are outside this for each activity, bring in one more set variable activity. Set variable activity also we have covered in the previous session. Now let's join it together and get file names. So you see, so why I'm using this set variable is I want to use the second variable that I have created, that is file names, which is of type string. Use it and I want to give a value to it. What will be the value? I want to read the list which has been created inside this for each activity for those two file names. So you can see we have two file names, right? 1, 2. So these two file names will be added in the list of the variable named as list of files. Okay, and then once the list of file variable is ready, I'm trying to collect that into a variable that is file names. Okay, so for that purpose, let me just think of like what we can do. Click on add dynamic content. After that, click on that particular variable name, which is list of files. Click on this. So once you click, then you have to give a join, go to the end, give comma and space. Okay, so what will happen, your list of items will be separated based on comma and space. Cool. So now I will show you, like once it's executed you will get a better idea why we are using this join function. Okay, let's click on this. Now let's save it. Great. So this is done. Now let's trigger it and see like what is the outcome. Scroll up. Okay, so let it run. Meantime, let me just go and change the file name. This is the property symbol. Click on this and change the pipeline name. PL. This is what our it's append activity. Okay, click on this. This is append activity. Save it, and it's the execution is already completed at the backend. Just minimize it to get like better screen length, and minimize, collapse this as well. Okay, scroll it down and drill it over here. You can shift your pipelines left and right. Just click on the plain canvas and do left and right, or up, top, and or up and down. Okay, that's it. Now let's expand it to the top and see the output. See, it has read, started the metadata activity. In the metadata it has read two files, that is 1 and 2. And you can see we have two types of items. One is like a folder, okay, and second is file. In file we have two files, that is file 1, file 2. In the folder we have fx rates and archive. That's what is shown up over here, you can see. And now we need to make sure that, that's the important thing. Now we need to make sure that we should not let the folder name pass inside the for each. Okay, so over here you can see it has executed how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. So for loop has executed 4 times, but we only want to execute it for the files, but unfortunately it has executed for folders as well, that is archive folder. It is just reading the file or folder name. That's why it is stamping as type is folder, type is file. So we are only interested of type file. Okay, because folder we don't want to process anything in folder, or we concatenate anything in folder. Okay, let's see it like what is the output, and then later we will fix it. Let's close this. Now let's go to, scroll to the bottom, and you see this 4 get list pipeline append activity is completed, and ultimately I'm using a set variable. Okay, see, in the list of items, first one is archive folder, second one is the file name, third one is file name, and the fourth one is again the folder name, which is fx rates, because we already have those two folder names in our storage account. That's why, and we want to exclude it. We will see this exclusion later, like in same session in some time. Okay, and now let's check it out, our last variable which we have defined at the end to concatenate all the items that is coming from the append variable. Click on this, you will see all the items, that is archive separated by comma, second file, sorry, first file, comma, second file, comma, the fourth folder. Okay, so this is how it has been done. Now what we have to do, we need to exclude the folder, right? What we can do, simply go here, break this, okay, and bring in a filter condition. So filter condition also I have covered in the previous session in much detail. Go and join this, exclude, in the name give a sensible name, remove folders. Okay, go to settings, go over here, add dynamic content, and get the output. Since it's coming, this input is coming from the get metadata, click on this is the output of the get metadata, and click on child items. Okay, click on this. See, so if you want to read the child items from this metadata to any of the properties, we have to use dot child items. Okay, and then we will, what we will do is we will write something like add dynamic content. Now we are going to provide the filter condition. That's what we have to give in the condition. Okay, now let's think what we can do. Okay, we can use this property of item in filter condition as well, that is item dot name. Okay, and then I will do I will put a equals bracket open, and then I can put some value. Okay, but before I put a value, let me just click on OK and come back to this in some time. Before that, let's click OK and check our outputs. In this you see what we have, yes, click on the metadata. In the metadata child items we have two type of objects. One is like type file, the other one is like folder, and our intention is to exclude the folder. So what we will do, with item.name I can read the folder name, I can read the file name, but I cannot read the type, right? So instead of dot name, that is item.name, I have to use item.type. Then only I can control on whether the type is folder or file. So that's why I will close it, scroll it down, click here, go back here, change this name to type and make this as file. So we are saying we are only interested in those objects which are of type file. Okay, great. Now click on OK. Join this together. Now when we are joining it from filter to for each, okay, then the logic of this for each will change at the settings level. Click on this settings, expand this. Now you see this is the output of the metadata activity, but we cannot use it anymore because now we have fitted a filter activity, right? So we need to give the output coming from the filter activity. So let's remove everything, scroll down, minimize your screen. You can press Ctrl and scroll down to minimize your screen, and so that you can get more options over here. Okay, so you see remove folders. So this is remove folders. Click on this, and now over here you have to put, you cannot put child items over here because the data or the output is coming from filter activity. You have to put value. Just remember this, we are getting the values coming from the filter. Click on OK, and then we are good to go. Now let's trigger it one more time, save it, click on debug. Now let's see the magic. Okay, let it run. The first one is executed. Click on refresh. Great, so everything is completed. Now see, so this is completed. Click on the metadata. In the metadata you can see two files are red and two folders are red, right? Let's click on the output of the filter activity. See, total 4 objects were there, items were there in the list. Out of that 2 were filtered, okay, and 2 were passed in. So that's what it's showing as 2 passed in files, that is file, 2 files of type file, that is first file and second file. You cannot find the folder. See, great. So that's it. And then you can see the get list of files, get list of file and get list of file, this and this, first this one and then this one. These two are something that is going to be used in the append. Okay, if I scroll down, click on this pencil, you can see this is my name, that is get list of files, the append variable wherein we are concatenating the file names coming in. Now go back and then click on the first one. See, this is the first file. Click on the second one, this is the second file. Okay, great. Now ultimately see what does this get variable has done. Click on this output. See, it has concatenated both the files separated by comma, right? So now you logically you can think of how I can write an expression to give a detailed information to the client or the customers. Okay, so let's close this, click on this, click on the variables, click over here, this is the join, right? Now simply use a concatenate function, concatenate the following files are processed, something like that you can write. Okay, are processed, comma this, give this. Okay, now let's see if there is any syntax error. We have given this text and then we have started this, join this. I think one more bracket is going to come. Okay, cool. That's it. Let's execute it one more time. Now let's see what happens and what does this variable contain at the end. Great, so I think it's completed. Yeah, it's completed. Now let's expand this and see what the following files are processed. See, so we have given a proper text or a subject, okay, to the interested party so that they can read it and get to know what has happened. The following files are processed, that is this and this, and we can even give the timestamp as well. The following files are processed at this UTC time. Okay, so this way, then this variable we can use it in our logic app to display this error message and send out an email to the concerned party. So that sending out an email we will be covering in coming sessions. Okay, so I think you have got the concept of append activity. And guys, if you have any doubts around this, please do let me know, and please do support and subscribe my channel. So that's it for the day. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.